feel so alone, gonna end up a big old pile of them. I feel so alone, gonna end up a big old pile of them. I feel so alone, gonna end up a big old pile of them bones.
Hello, this is Kai Lones here. I have a few announcements about the Game Master business here. I do apologize about the lighting. My bunk light over here in the semi is out, and it's taken forever for the company to replace it. So I just have this light over here right now. So I'm going to try and turn this a little bit here. So on the 3rd, I am hiring someone on the 3rd. I have a few good candidates here. One of them I'm really looking at hiring here, and hoping she's still interested in the job here, especially considering some of my videos on conspiracy theories and biblical prophecies and all that. Besides that, so I am hiring someone definitely on the 3rd. So show up anyway, even if you think you don't have a chance. Show up, okay? I need to get someone in there in the Gilman storefront immediately on the 3rd. My trucking job seems to be currently threatening my employment at this point over an incident that happened a few days ago, and it's really not a big deal, but it's really being blown out of proportion. And as a Class A CDL holder, it's not really going to affect my employment or my income or anything. I can get a new trucking job a week later, less than a week later maybe. So it's not a huge deal, but hopefully, I'm not terminated coming Monday. Hopefully we can get all this going here on the 3rd coming up here. I will be there. Hopefully I'm not too late getting back there off my trucking job. And the person that I will be hiring will need to be furnishing everything. Everything's paid for. Everything's coming out of my pocket. So the store clerk that I'm hiring isn't going to have to pay anything. They're just going to have to do the work. And it's only 20 hours a week. And, sign-on bonus. There are good benefits with the employment and all that. So we will be open in Gilman here very, very, very soon. Give it a week or two. And shortly after that, I'm opening up the 2nd location in Willard, Ohio. That's probably going to be about 4 or 5 weeks from now. The 3rd location is going to be opened up in Champaign, Illinois. I'm going to be talking with one of my brothers who seems to be doing his own business thing too, and he's really focusing on the Champaign area. So I want to make that the 3rd location and see if we can come to an agreement and do that, and also maybe share the Gilman, Illinois storefront. So that will give him 2 locations, including the Champaign area he's looking at. So that's the 3rd location plan. The 4th location, and again, I'm expecting this to be done within 4 to 5 weeks. 3 to 5 weeks each location here is expected to be self-sufficient. I'll be getting a lot of shipments online from factories and warehouses, refurbished products, and I will also be leaving funds with the store clerks to buy used video games from the local community as well. So again, a few weeks, and I'll have a couple storefronts open here. I have all the money for it. I have all the game plan down. I need to get people. I need to staff the locations, and I need to make the meetings with the people who own the storefronts to lease out to me in Willard and Champaign. And so the 4th location is going to be in Winnemac, Indiana, and then the 5th location is actually planned to be purchased. I'm going to be purchasing a piece of land in Joliet, Illinois, and this is expected to be in about 5 or 6 months from now as the 5th location. And this land will also be used for the White Woods National Homeless Charity I'm running. So I have to finish my college in Joliet, and I'm currently in a legal battle with Joliet Junior College, and I want to buy this piece of land to further assist the homeless people I'm helping. Having it owned is going to be better than using it as non-owned. And I'm not doing anything illegal with this in Illinois because of a federal statute that went through a couple years ago, where homeless people are legally allowed to sleep on public property if they don't have anywhere else to go. And this land that I'm using is actually non-recreational public property, which the camping laws don't actually apply to homeless people, and they're actually allowed to definitely live in the set of woods here. But I would like to buy that because I'm afraid that people who disagree with this homeless people staying indefinitely on a set of land like that are going to be targeting that. So I'm going to buy that land, privatize it, and use that to assist people in our country, all over the country, in that area, get them jobs, get them back up on their feet. And this will also be where the Joliet location of Game Master will be established. And again, 4 or 5 months for the 5th location. Boom, boom, boom. Month, every month there's going to be a storefront open. That's the plan. So I apologize if this video is taking a long time. This isn't a joke. Good benefits, good pay, retirement plan, health benefits, life insurance. I reimburse for gas on top of salary pay. I'm expecting to promote whoever's hired at the Gilman storefront. I'm going to be promoting them within 90 days. Their salary is going to increase. They will be overseeing the storefronts that I'm opening in my place. And again, I do have a good candidate right now for that. And then at 6 months, that person is expected to be promoted again, and someone else will take their place overseeing the storefronts. Or maybe geographical, maybe one will see a few and the other will see the other few. So please stop by in the 3rd. at 720 South Crescent Street, Unit C in Gilman. And chances are I've already found my applicant, but stop in anyway, talk to me. If you have things to sell them to me. And just stop by, and we'll get the storefront open here pretty soon, and hopefully it'll be a good thing in our Iroquois County community. Thank you, guys. Have a great night. Just a real quick video here, guys. So we did get internet finally installed at the Gilman, Illinois location. The store manager there will be handling the eBay account for now until I can get the Willard, Ohio Game Master location open, and others that are also planned. Eventually, there will be multiple people handling the eBay account. I will be offering sales not only in the United States, but here in the next week, we're going to also be doing Norway, and then also the UK, and then Austria, Cyprus, Finland, Ireland, Luxembourg, Malta, Netherlands, and Spain as well. So that's just that's the update here of the countries that we're going to be doing services with through eBay, in addition to the United States. And there might be a slight change here also. So I did just recently find out that the United Kingdom is no longer using the euro. Now, I remember they were talking about pulling out of the European Union a while back, and it wasn't looking very promising from what I was seeing on the news. And it turns out that they did pull out of the European Union, and that went under my radar. So they are no longer using the euro. And I also took a new recent look at the difference between the euro and the American dollar. So it looks like, and this has been a long thing where the euro was a higher value than the American dollar. American dollar would, take the lead over the euro, and vice versa, It keeps switching. So that's something I need to start looking at more carefully and paying closer attention to, because those two, they always change, values on which is higher and which is not. So the euro is actually a little bit less also, to correct my previous video there. However, the British pound, is not that much less than the American dollar, and offering sales in the United Kingdom with them vastly speaking English is still going to be a good business move. So what I might actually do is I might wind up replacing the London, England location on the storefront order of opening storefronts with Norway. So that's probably going to happen, switching England with Norway there. Now, the reason we're doing Norway is because they are vastly English-speaking people, which is going to appeal because of the products we're going to be selling. And again, I get these products in, a lot of them in from China, where they've been refurbished, or peripherals and accessories for video games that Chinese factories have created as a third-party alternative to name-brand video game products. And I get those in super cheap, making money in the United States. If I can do that, doing it in Norway is going to be a lot more money. So Norway is going to take the place of the England location that was planned. And, the countries that do the euro, we're going to go ahead and do that for the same reason we're doing the United Kingdom. Even though the euro is still a little bit less, just like the British pound, compared to the American dollar. Austria, Cyprus, Finland, Ireland, Luxembourg, Malta, Netherlands, and Spain, they are vastly English-speaking countries, and it's going to be a good business move. So United States, to start with on eBay. Norway is going to be added immediately, and over the next week, the UK, England, Northern Ireland, Wales, and Scotland. And then in 2-3 weeks, we're going to open up business on eBay with Austria, Cyprus, Finland, Ireland, Luxembourg, Malta, Netherlands, and Spain also for that. And eventually, half a decade, we're going to have storefronts in these countries also. So that is the updates on the monetary business plan here on eBay, and corrections from the previous video. Thank you, guys. Have a great night. Bye. This video here is for my older brother, Michael Owens. Growing up as kids, he always wanted to have a Jeep Wrangler as his vehicle when he became an adult. Well, I just bought me a new $900,000 brand spanking new black Jeep Wrangler. Look at this. Yeah, what do you say to that, Mike? Looks like I beat you to it, huh? Look at this. And I got my storefront up there, the Gilman Game Master. We're going to head on in here real quick and use the restroom before I get back to my job. Yep. Let's see, get the right key here. Turn the lights on in here. Stopping off and using the restroom real quick. It's my storefront here. Not much in here right now, but I'm going to stay with my new trucking company for a minimum of a year. I'm going to try and do 3 or 4 years, 2 or 3 years, something like that. But I'll let you guys go here. I'm going to use the restroom. Yeah, but that is my brand spanking new Jeep Wrangler, and this I had to make this video because my older brother always wanted a Jeep Wrangler as a kid growing up. Yes, sir. My brand spanking new Jeep Wrangler out there, guys. All right, have a good day. Hey, Peyton, this is Kylones here. I just want to make this quick video here. So I'm still waiting on Laura to get back with me on my friend John's phone number. So she'll get back with me on text here. So, I mean, I'm inside the storefront right now. So that's Laura's desk there and all the stuff. Still getting some stuff moved in here for my storage unit, Joliet. So, I mean, there's the front display shelf here in the store. And got a couple shelves, stuff already set up here. Yeah, I am in the process of still moving everything over here from Joliet. So we've got a whole bunch of retail products in these cases down here, USB game controllers and all that, display case, and Pokemon cards, video games, and stuff like that. Those here down there, those are the trunk or treat events here in Gilman and Waseca. But yeah, I mean, I'm here on the property right now. So with the business sign right there on the store, those are her hours right there. So, but yeah, I mean, I don't know if she's gonna get back with me tonight on John's phone number or not, but just want to make this quick video. So, I mean, I know I can't be a witness for myself, but I mean, best I can do right now for you. I'm sure she'll get back with me here in a couple hours or maybe tomorrow or something. So, just want to make this video for you. Thanks. Bye. All right, we're just gonna make this quick update video here real quick regarding the status of the business empire. So recently we did get the Iroquois County Jr Law Offices LLC established. It's registered with the state. I did get my notary because we're going to be doing notary public services as well for the paralegal business. And we're going to wait to open up physical business in Gilman. We're probably going to wait a couple months. I'm going to be running it from the semi. So everything's going to be digital, virtual, and by mail. And until we get the building open, because right now I'm using my funds to start to either go lease purchase or get a Penske rental for the DO Vindice Christian trucking group business that I started as well. Now that right now I'm making about $2,000 a week with the trucking company I'm with now, which is 4 times as much as when I first started trucking about a year and a half ago, and it's twice as much as my last job. But I need more money than that. So the next option is to run my own loads entirely, which I can do in a loophole with the contract with the company. I can completely separate from the company under the lease purchase contract as long as I remove all the decals and everything. I already have my motor carrier number and DOT number. And it is also registered as a third-party CDL school here in Illinois on the FMCSA website as well. So that being said, the average load run, most loads, industrial companies or corporations or whatever you're hauling, most of the time, owner-operators or people doing lease purchase, if they're running their own loads, they make about $4,000 for a 2-day run. So that's an average of $2,000 a day, 6 days a week, if you want to continuously run on average, because you have to do a 34-hour reset or run on recaps in the end. So about 6 days, that's going to be about $12,000 there gross. Now that's before either lease purchase expenses or rental expenses, whichever path I choose, as well as gas and insurance and everything. I also need to be careful about where I'm going and how quickly I can get out of the location I'm going. So if I'm getting a load within 15 minutes and I'm going to this state over here, and it's going to take me 6 hours or 12 hours or 2 days to get a load out of that state heading somewhere else, that could really be a drawback. So, $12,000 gross is about the most I can make on average. 1224. That's about $48,000 a month. And with that coming back out of the delivery locations, it's all about how I choose to do it. So that being said, the Iroquois County Jr Law Offices LLC is established. It's ready to go. It's open for public business. Public notary services are coming next week. We're also going to be doing a couple other services that kind of tie in with paralegalism, and you can see that on the Facebook page. The DO Vindice Christian Trucking Group. Again, the truck stop and everything that's on the Facebook page that's mentioned there, it's expected to be coming here this year in Crescent City, Illinois. Again, for the next few months, I'm just going to be doing everything from the truck. So I'm not going to be hiring my own drivers or hiring anyone for that business until probably about the end of the year. What's going to be happening with that money from the my own trucking company is it's going to be going into funding Game Master. We are opening up several dozen locations across the United States and here in Illinois, and as of right now, one planned out of country location as well. I'm going to be mass hiring employees at the several storefronts that I'm opening up here in the next several weeks. So it's good pay. It's great benefits. I'm not going to get into the specific details here on that. I just wanted to make an update that the paralegal business for Iroquois County residents is open and available, and Game Master will be reopened in Gilman here shortly here in a few weeks. So the first plan is we're going to be opening up in the Joliet Mall, as well as the Champaign and Bourbonnais malls here in Illinois. And I have a little location there in Gilman we're going to be opening up in as well, or reopening up in as well. So if you're looking for employment, you're local, you need a job, or you want this job, because this is a top paying job here in Iroquois County. And now my last couple employees that I had, I've had 3 employees since 2019. They didn't stick with it. They didn't follow instructions. But if you follow instructions and you do your job, you're not being lazy. You're actually doing the work. I'm going to make sure you're getting above minimum wage. You're getting paid well. You're going to have better benefits than the other employment options in Iroquois County. It's really a top paying job. It really is. So you don't want to be working at Burger King or McDonald's or Walmart or any of the other places in Iroquois County when you can be making a lot of money with my business, Game Master. So look forward to that. It's coming. We're going to be reopening up here soon. We are going through some changes here, so I'm changing it from a sole proprietorship to an LLC. What I'm doing is I'm mass hiring because I'm having an issue with the people that I've had in the past doing the work. So we're going to hire a boss for them to crack the whip on them, make sure that they're doing the work, they're not slacking off, the job's getting done, and money's being made with the business. So and then they're also going to have a boss. So each location here for the 4 locations that I'm opening up here within the next 6 weeks, they will have 2 employees per location and 1 store manager per location. And I'm also hiring an Illinois corporate manager as well to oversee the store manager's duties and operations. So that's something to look forward to. We got both those businesses. If you're a paralegal, or if you have secretarial work in your past, and I'm going to be needing a secretary for when we open up the physical store location for the Iroquois County Jr. Offices LLC, and it's also available to be mutually owned. I would like people to be registered with the Illinois bar to be a mutual owner, and you must reside in Iroquois County as well as solely operate or service the Iroquois County area. If you have a paralegal certificate, you will not be eligible to be a mutual owner of my business, the paralegal business, but you will be eligible to be employed on contract basis as long as caseloads permit the work duties. So the big thing here is the steps that it's taken me that we have just achieved and fulfilled to reestablish Game Master into something bigger and better, not just in Iroquois County and Gilman, and not just the state of Illinois, but we are mass opening locations. I have several locations in several different states that we are opening up very, very quickly. Every last bit of my trucking income, that $12,000, it's going to be anywhere from $8,000 to $12,000 gross a week. And that's before expenses. I mean, realistically, it's going to come out to $6,000 to $9,000 net pay. And every last bit of that money, whatever I don't need to survive on, basic necessities, food and water and stuff for my dog Jack. So you're looking at $5,000 to $6,000 a week being put into Game Master from this, as well as physically establishing the Iroquois County Jr. Law Offices LLC. So that's something really, really big to look at here. Game Master, it's going to be a hardcore competitor to GameStop, as well as the Geek Squad inside of Best Buy, as well as the Best Buy resale area. Years ago, Best Buy started doing resale to compete with stores like GameStop in their electronics aisle. So those are going to be our 2 major competitors, not only in the state of Illinois, but over state lines. Now, locally, in our Iroquois County area and nearby, we do have a few other competitors for those particular locations, such as CompuSave and Corey Klein's business there in Gilman. Now, when it comes to Corey Klein, I know I made that not so good video a few months back about him and closing a storefront down. Chances are he's not going to be lasting much longer with this grand plan and reestablishment and recomposition of the Game Master business and what I'm about to be doing here in the next few weeks with the business and reopening. So what I'm going to do is Corey Klein does have a job position available with Game Master if he wishes. I will hire him up automatically because I'm going to be putting him out of business, and that's kind of my way of apologizing for being an asshole a few months back in the video I made. So he will, even though his business is going down the drain here, he will still have a job option, a very similar or identical nature of what he's already doing, but within the frame and scope of the Game Master business. So that's not something he needs to worry about with his business. It's not something the local community needs to worry about when it comes to the services he offers, because he is more than welcome to be employed with my business here when we reopen here in the next few weeks. So those are the updates. It's all done. It's all filed. It's all state registered. We got everything paid for. It's all legal. The only thing I'm waiting on is I'm kind of waiting on the trucking company I'm with right now. I have $3,000 that I can up and leave like right now if I wanted to and go get a Penske and run my own load a day later. Making, I can run a 2-day load and get $4,000, and I'd have that in my bank account in 48 hours. But like I said, that would be more money for me up front right away. But if I went lease purchase, it would be more money in the long run later down the road. So that's kind of what I'm waiting for. The trucking company I'm with is so backed up with lease purchasing, getting trucks to drivers, old trucks to the drivers, that they're backed up 6 months. So a few more weeks here, and I will know for sure. I'm on the waiting list now. I'm qualified, so we're sitting and waiting, hanging on to that $3,000 emergency Penske rental fund for the deal of Vindice Trucking Group, because I really want to do lease purchase instead of a rental, because it's more money in the long run. So, I mean, if something happens between now and the next few weeks when that happens, like I said, I got the money for the Penske rental. It's not going to hurt the plans or anything like that. And, I become very impatient sometimes. So I might just up and leave in the next few weeks and give them 2 weeks notice and say, hey, I'm going to get me a Penske. Because this has been a life dream for me, this Game Master business. It's something I've always wanted to do since I was a kid. It's my retirement job. My planned retirement job as well. So it's something to look forward to. It's going to put many jobs on the table, both in Illinois as well as Iroquois County, provided people actually want to work, which it's not looking so good. A lot of people aren't wanting work still. So hopefully, that should be over, but it's not. We still got people mooching off of mommy and daddy there in Iroquois County. We live in a very unproductive local community where people don't want to do anything or be productive, or work. They just don't want to do anything. So hopefully that'll change here. Hopefully mommy and daddy will cut you guys off. Hopefully, I'll be working with the schools and the community leaders a little bit more to promote and encourage student employment a little bit more, both in the high schools as well as the junior highs there in Iroquois County, because we need people. Everyone's short staffed right now. We need people to go back to work and actually work for their income, work for their food, work for their housing, and be a productive member of society. And we're just not getting that right now. And that's been a big issue, with my business as well as everyone else's business. So hopefully we can get all that fixed out here, sorted out in the next few weeks, sociologically, and everyone gets back to work. And hopefully we can staff the Game Master business pretty well and get this ball rolling here. So those are the updates. Everything's done. It's going. We're going to be opening up here very, very soon, as well as reopening in Gilman, and something for you guys to look forward to. And I look forward to serving my local community once again. Thank you guys. You guys have a great night.
If you have come this far in our video and have enjoyed the content from Game Master Production Studio, we ask that you please press the like button for this video.
We got some goodies this weekend, guys. So I got 2 good things this weekend. Now, I've been using this thing for quite a while. This is an AT&T Verizon Inseego 5G device, and I don't know, because my AT&T SIM card is now 5G, I don't know if it's no longer compatible with this, or if because they found out people were getting free hotspot data with AT&T SIM cards in the Verizon 5G Mifi devices. Whichever the reason is, it's no longer available. I can no longer use this device. I spent $300 for nothing, so I kind of moved over to an alternative method. Where the hell did it go? So this is an AT&T. Well, this one's a Netgear. AT&T has the exact same thing, just with an AT&T logo. And this, I'm having an issue with online gaming with Switch. So I mean, using my my 5G hotspot on my phone, it's fine. Now the only reason I even have phone service is because of internet and online gaming. I've been using Google Voice. It's a free phone service. I've been using that for years, and I use that hotspots. The only reason I have a phone is for internet and online gaming through my laptop and other video gaming devices. And because I can no longer use the Verizon 5G Inseego Mifi device, I had to get this. This was about $800, and it also has an Ethernet port. So basically, it's going to give me 5G access, and instead of paying, it's the same price as my AT&T phone service. The only difference is instead of 10 gigs of Wi-Fi data, it gives me 40 gigs at the same price, which is the only reason I even have service. And I can still use my phone service, Google Voice, through that over the Wi-Fi connection in the truck. Plus, it saves me a lot of money because I'm actually spending $10 for 5 gigs of mobile hotspot data. I'm having to do that twice a week, so I'm actually spending $20, $40, an additional $80 for internet through my phone service, and this saves me $80. Actually, 80 plus the original 10. This saves me $100 a month just by getting this $800 device. So it's a good lifelong investment, and I also bought the warranty because my original Mifi device through Verizon wound up having a battery exploded and destroyed the device within a year. So this here is protected for 2 years, which is good. So again, I'm having a real big issue with Switch gaming through my hotspot on my phone, and this was how to get around that and enjoy online gaming. Now, I did try a couple alternatives to kind of get around that without having to buy the device, but again, I would still be spending an additional $80, $100 on hotspot data through my phone. Even if it's USB tethering, it still uses hotspot data. So, like I said, I was trying to save myself from getting that device, even though I would still be paying additional money for online services. So I got an RJ45 Ethernet to micro USB adapter. One of these ends goes into my phone, and it connects to a USB device. It allows my phone to be directly connected to my Nintendo Switch, and that direct connection allows me to sometimes enjoy online gaming through my Switch. But again, it uses a lot of data, and it's a lot more money than having the device for that online service. Plus, it disconnects a lot of times, and it's just not a good solution for online gaming through the Nintendo Switch there. So, in place of this little adapter thing and having to spend additional $100 a month, I got this here for my Nintendo Switch gaming, and I did also get something else here. So, because this little rig device, I kind of devised myself to connect my phone to my Switch as an alternative solution, and no one else in the world does this shit. This only comes from me. So this, because I can't have it in the Switch dock because I don't have a TV in my truck, I kind of found a way to connect my Switch dock to my laptop and use my laptop as a screen. Now, I've been using a laptop for years. I don't have a traditional TV or cable or anything. I haven't done that in over 10 years. I do everything through my laptop: movies, video games, TV series, cartoons. I stream everything. I have my subscriptions and all that. But to actually hook a game device to my laptop, now a couple years ago, I did have a little Chinese device where I was able to link a coaxial if I was in a hotel, or if I had when I had my apartment there in Joliet when I was attending college for those 6 months before I moved out into the Forest Preserve and said fuck that apartment, or that apartment. And it allowed me to connect my coaxial to a USB converter into my laptop and watch cable on my screen. But the device got really, really hot, and it just wasn't a safe device. So I do have another device that allows me to connect my Switch dock to my TV now. But before I did that, I was actually having to hold my Switch connected to the phone in order to use my Switch, because I couldn't have it in the dock and play it without the converter device to my laptop, which is I have it here somewhere. Here it is. It's basically this, plugs into USB, and then the HDMI cable plugs into my Switch dock. So I'm able to now have a bigger screen and put my Switch in the Switch dock and use that with that. But again, the online gaming issue with what I'm doing, which is why I got this device, this $800 something device, and then I have to pay for the service, which means I'm discontinuing my phone service entirely, and which I don't use anyway except for internet. Now this is going to be a little bit better. This here, I had to get this online because I couldn't find it in store. Is going to kind of take the place of this rig device I created because I can now play my Switch games on my laptop through the converter. I have this, which this here. This is an RJ45 to USB 3.0 converter, and I got this to work with this. Now, this is the alternative solution to that little rig device I created out of the depths of my crazy mind. So I have the RJ45 Ethernet connect from this to this, and then into the Nintendo Switch will give me direct 5G high-speed mobile data in the truck anywhere in the United States. And this here device has a higher capacity for internet usage and service than my phone, even if it's USB tethered, at the same price, actually $100 cheaper a month. So this is my gaming rig for Nintendo Switch, and using my laptop as a TV screen without having to buy a TV. So that's interesting. And I also got this here. This is it's an AV to HDMI converter, and the reason I got this is actually strictly Pokemon, and I'm going to get to that here in just a minute. So you're probably wondering, why the hell am I getting a GameCube when I can emulate all this shit on my laptop through the Dolphin emulator? Well, because there are certain Pokemon in the Pokemon Coliseum and XD Gale of Darkness that I need to get legitimately and transfer them up into transfer them over from the GameCube Pokemon games into the Game Boy Advance Pokemon games, and from there up to the Nintendo DS Pokemon games, from the DS Pokemon games to the 3DS Pokemon games, from the 3DS Pokemon games into Pokemon Bank, and from Pokemon Bank to Pokemon Home, and from Pokemon Home into my Nintendo Switch Pokemon Let's Go Pikachu, Let's Go Eevee, and the other Nintendo Switch Pokemon games I got. So, and one very interesting, actually two interesting Pokemon that you can get legitimately, Celebi and Jirachi. You both get them in the GameCube games. However, Jirachi is only available on the bonus US disc with Pokemon Coliseum, and they're running like $500 on eBay. However, Celebi can only be obtained in a Japanese bonus disc. So that means I have to get a Japanese GameCube to run the Japanese bonus disc and get the Japanese Celebi. And then, which means I also need a Japanese ruby or sapphire version, which I did get. I do have a legitimate Japanese sapphire version and legitimate Japanese ruby version to transfer the Japanese Celebi off the Japanese bonus disc into these games, and then ultimately transfer them up through the series of methods into my Switch games. Those are the, as of right now, because there are no Nintendo events going on to get a legitimate Jirachi or legitimate Celebi, those are the only real legitimate methods to get Jirachi and Celebi without cheat codes. And the reason I'm doing it legitimately, not cheat codes, is because I'm strongly into professional video gaming as well as professional Pokemon video gaming. And the professional Pokemon championships, they have little devices and stuff where they scan your games for out-of-place data or misplaced data. In other words, cheat codes or Pokemon that are in your games, and they can detect and disqualify you from entering tournaments and championships if you have fake Pokemon in your games or even fake items. So that's kind of how to still professional Pokemon and get the Pokemon in my games legitimately without cheat codes or cheat methods. So put all that stuff down there. I'm not going to be going over my super rare and expensive Pokemon cards right now. I'm not doing any of the unboxings from the videos, but I did get something else here. I had a Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild collector's box here. I'm not going to do a full unboxing here. I'm just going to show here. It came with some pins, little lunchbox or Pokemon card holder, or whatever card games you play, Magic the Gathering, whatever, stickers and whatever. And it came with a glass bottle here. I got the glass bottle right here. It's pretty cool. And also came with a carrying bag, which I'm going to put my my Japanese GameCube and my US GameCube and my Pokemon games in to keep it safe there. So just wanted to make that little video there of my little Pokemon gig and how I had to do that little interesting connector thing with the Switch, which I completely devised myself. I was like, well, is this going to work? Is it not going to work? And I was online trying to find anyone else who did this. I couldn't find anyone who actually connected all these connector adapter devices to make it work, and I was able to get it to work. The only issue is paying extra $100 a month for something I can save $100 on, which is the purpose of that Netgear Nighthawk Pro device I got, which we're going to go ahead and deactivate my phone service and get that all set up here over the next week. So all very, very interesting. Now the Japanese Celebi and the Jirachi, the legitimate ones that I'll be getting here, transferring them over to my Japanese Sapphire and Ruby version all the way up. What I'm going to wind up doing too is I'm going to on our Game Master eBay page, I am going to do that multiple times. Legitimate Celebi and legitimate Jirachi, and we're going to sell those virtual content on our page here also. So that's a big update. And they're not going to be cheap because they're legitimate, and I have to go through the process on the bonus discs. And because I had to pay so much money to get the Japanese GameCube with the GameCube, the Japanese Ruby and Sapphire version, and all this money to get them all up, it's cost me thousands of dollars to do this. The Jirachi and Celebi will be traded over Wi-Fi connection or through friend code through the Switch games. And sold on our eBay page. I don't know the exact price of what I'm going to be selling them as, and in the description we're also going to have how they were obtained legally and how they are not cheat code Pokemon. So those now over the years, my biggest selling item have been reproduction Pokemon games: Fire Red, Leaf Green, Ruby Sapphire, Emerald, and also the DS versions of the Pokemon games. However, eBay has now started cracking down on reproduction Pokemon games, even if you list them legitimately as fake or reproduction Pokemon games. Now, there are legal loopholes where this is legal for some of the games to be sold because of licensing and copyright information regarding Nintendo. However, eBay has cracked down on their own set of rules to no longer allow this. So selling Jirachi and Celebi in-game virtual content, legitimate Pokemon, is kind of my alternative here. And they're probably going to be pretty expensive, but they also need to be cheap enough that they can be sold over to other Switch Pokemon users. So those are my updates here, guys, and the next couple of videos, probably tomorrow or tonight, I'm going to unbox all these action figures I got and the Pokemon cards, and we're going to kind of look at the Pokemon cards and maybe go over my rare and first gen, second gen, and interesting Pokemon cards as well. So thank you guys. Have a good day. This is the house I bought, property I bought. Got it for a pretty good deal. So I was an owner-op for a couple years, an owner-op truck driver, and also had a video game store opened up in Gilman, Illinois. I had a store manager there. She was hired up for about a year. She really screwed me over. Lost a lot of money with her. Didn't do any of the work, and she wound up quitting. I didn't fire her. She quit. Kind of screwed me over, and I was really using money from both the businesses to kind of patch up spots in the other business financially that I needed to. So I got this piece of property. I retired. I've been for retirement. I have a retirement check now. I purchased a property in London, England. It's a retail space. And then I also purchased this, but I did have to buy a van, and we lived in the back of the van all winter for about 4 months before I picked this property up after buying the property in London. So, I mean, it's a pretty good deal. The house is crap, but I'm going to be repairing it. I'm just going to be here until I'm finished with the college that I'm currently attending. So once I patch it up, we're going to lease out the rooms individually to college students. There's about a handful of colleges nearby. I just got done doing the garden here, getting the garden all ready. It's in a pretty nice corner here. There's Jack. Jack's been with me from the beginning of trucking. We've been all over the country together. We've had a lot of adventures, vacations, we've had a lot of fun together. Got a little picnic table here. I really don't have much in the house right now. I turned the garage into my new workshop since the store location closed down in Gilman a little over a year ago. So that's where I'm going to be doing computer repairs, electronic repairs, and that's temporary. I'm looking at a new storefront here. It's going to be a purchase building close by to where I just moved at here, and then we're actually going to turn that garage into a boarding room for homeless people. I have a program that I've been doing now since 2019, and it's a pretty it's a pretty structured path. So it's all about helping people that want to help themselves. We don't give out any free handouts here. So the program is designed for them to work to obtain, but what I do is I provide the resources for them to get to that point: mailing address, ID, social security card, birth certificate, get them into school, raise their education. I provide transportation, get them back home, in the local housing and job and everything. And that is statewide minus Cook County and the city of Joliet. Come on, big guy. Jackadoodles, come on, bud. Look at you. And Jack does have a permanent injury in his right hind leg, so he's physically disabled. He's very sweet, but he can get very mean at times. But yeah, I've got the floor going here. I went and picked up OSB sheathing. I'm actually going to double layer the floor. But Jack tore a bunch of trash bags up when I was out. Picked up a water heater for pretty cheap. I'm still redoing the pipes in here. Pretty dark. I've got a portable camping shitter back here. This is the bedroom here, or the bathroom here. I actually tore down 2 walls where I'm going to be putting a 2-seater jacuzzi tub in there, water heater over there next to the fuse box. I got a portable camping shitter. I'm not going to show you that right now. I mean, it's pretty messy. I'm redoing everything right now. I haven't got the water hooked up. I picked up this cool little futon couch thing, which is really freaking awesome. I actually pulled my semi truck mattress out of my semi and put it in the back of the van, and then pulled it out of the van, put it in here, and this is so much better than that. Got my little setup. I got my 2-burner camping stove and everything. So I'm pretty much doing everything back from there. So I mean, I'm getting up. I'm 31 years old. My retirement check isn't that great, but I can say it's a lot more than what most people have. See, what I did was I didn't rent or anything. I lived on the truck. I didn't pay any rent. I didn't have any utilities. You know, I spent my money to get a storefront, open a business that I've been running online for years, and I made good money doing that. So, my fireball over there. I am going to have to pay the water, though, because trash is starting to build up in here. We're going to have to get it out. It's my trucking mattress over there. Got my internet. Got the new phone that just came in. It's a little cheap little thingy, but that's for the business, computer repair business. So I'd say I'm doing pretty good. You know, I own 3 businesses, 2 which aren't going that great right now. But I own 3 businesses now. I own 2 properties. I own my vehicle. So I'd say I'm doing pretty good. Jack, that's a $5,000 dog right there. It's a pure blood hanging tree cow dog, directly descended from black bear in Texas. So it's a pretty decent sized yard, and I picked this property because of the yard. You know, Jack had lived on the semi with me for over 2 years, and even though we had vacations and we went to all different kinds of neat places in every single state, you know, most of our time was me driving, you know, 10, 11 hours a day. And, so, you know, sometimes when I wasn't driving, there's a lot of other work that comes with being a truck driver besides driving. You know, sometimes you have to do your own repairs on your truck and trailer. Sometimes you have to load and unload. Sometimes you have to deal with customers and business relations. And so, I mean, sometimes my work shifts went from 12, 14, or even 16 hours a day. And that was a constant thing. So Jack was cooped up in that semi truck for over 2 years when we weren't adventuring or sightseeing or had time off at some fun location. So I wanted to give him this big old yard to himself. And I'm pretty busy, even though I'm working mostly from home. I'm retired. I'm doing computer repairs here. I'm running a statewide homeless charity. What I want to do is I want to get him another dog to keep him company here while I'm working, attending my college courses, and I'm also going to be going into a part-time local normal job as well, and I'm actually going to be closing my retirement account out, transferring that to a savings account, and investing that money into the business operations to bring more money. and then well, I'll see about starting a new 401k later, and investing more money into that quicker. So right now I'm kind of limited on how much money I can make on the table because of FAFSA as well as the retirement. So which is fine because my main goal is to get this college in, and I don't want, I just don't want any of the income affecting that. I get really good grades, so I don't want to have too much on my table to interfere with those goals. What are you doing under there, bro? Been digging under the house there. Put mothballs under the house, keeps all the rodents out until I get the floor fixed. I don't have the keys on me. I'll show you the garage. I'm building a work table in there right now because I need to fit all these floor pieces in of the house. We are leasing the London, England location out here soon, as soon as I find someone that can afford the rent. Yeah, so 2-seater jacuzzi tubs can go like right here in this area where the shower is, and the water heater is going to go here, and we're going to kind of close that door opening up. We're going to be completely redoing the walls in the entire house, as well as the ceiling. We're going to be redoing the whole ceiling, and this is going to be a project over the next couple of years. My main goal is to get the floor fitted and sealed and everything, and get the pipes fixed and the water turned on, and that's probably going to be in May, just because I'm very, very busy right now. And I invested a lot of money into assets over the last few months, van, storefront, this house, and a lot of other things. So that's going to be about it. I just want to give you a walkthrough, let everyone know I'm doing good business-wise. On a personal level, I've become quite lonely and depressed, but it is what it is. Hopefully that'll be fixed up here. So yeah, the homeless charity is still going. It's still functional. It's still open for those who need it. I'm not advertising it at this time. I have created a program where 10% of all revenue for my computer repair business goes towards that to pay for ads and resources for the homeless charity. Garden sun, I'm going to be planting some tomatoes, cucumbers, and stuff in here in a few weeks. There's no mailing route on the street, so I've been having to go to the post office for my mail. So I have to get a burn pit, a burn table or something out here. I got to get rid of that. I got some pretty decent plans for what the house is going to be like for college students, and I'll post another video of that at another time.
I wanted to make this short video right now. So if you're looking to buy some stuff from me to help me out with the channel, help me get this business going again, I'm leaving links in the description to my Facebook Marketplace page as well as my eBay store. Now, eBay's taking some things down, replicates, third-party manufacturing items for copyright stuff or whatever. Basically, that was like third-party video game peripherals. But if you'd like to buy some stuff from my store, the links are in the description here of this video. Right now, I'm just getting back to doing this business. I invested a lot of money into a house and property and a vehicle right before that, as well as getting the house fixed up. So right now, what I'm doing is I'm just slowly building items back up like I had it a couple of years ago. Right now, I have some USB NES controllers in stock in bulk. I'm selling those for a good price. I've also got Nintendo Switch Joy-Cons from a third-party manufacturer. I have tested them. They work just like Nintendo Switch controllers, except for mine are a lot cheaper than what you're going to spend at Walmart or GameStop, It's not $60, $50, or even $40 or $30. So check those out. I'm also willing to open up a brand new package of the Switch Joy-Cons and sell you a left one or a right one at half the item price, plus the shipping's in the item price. So you might be able to get a left or right side for $20 or less. I've also got, I made a YouTube video about this a while ago, but I'm also doing Japanese Celebi and English Jirachi from the Pokemon Coliseum games. I'll be selling those on eBay shortly, as well as Facebook Marketplace. Those are digital goods. They are obtained legitimately through Pokemon Coliseum's bonus disc and Japanese bonus disc, and transfer to my my Game Boy Advance Pokemon games or my Japanese Ruby or Sapphire version, and then I can also finagle them up to the DS games, both of them, and trade them to you over Wi-Fi connection on the homebrewed server, and I can also get them onto the 3DS games and do the same, as well as the Switch games, and the details will be in the specific listings of those. Yeah, you can get them into Sword and Shield, you can get them into Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, and then I'm also going to be getting in some new items here shortly as well, in addition to the NES USB controllers and Switch Joy-Cons I'm selling for super cheap. So I'll be getting in SNES USB controllers here soon. I'll be getting in Famicom versions of USB controllers. I'll be getting in adapters that you will be able to adapt your original video game controllers into the USB adapter and plug it into your PC to run them on emulators. I'll be getting N64 stuff in like that. What's up, guys? This is Kyle Owens here, and I wanted to make this video to share a little bit about me and my background. So I am retired now. I'm 31 years old, and I purchased a property here in Avon, Illinois, and my buddy Jack here, he lives with me. Oh, careful. You want to leave? Okay, go on down. And so I drove a truck for the last several years, and before that, I was actually homeless. But I was a student in Northern Illinois at Joliet Junior College, and I had a rough road growing up. I didn't get to go to college. I was kind of deprived as a child too, so that can kind of explain why I do all this video game stuff at my age, especially all the retro stuff. So I wanted to go to college and create video games. I wanted to go to Full Sail University. After seeing the ads in Nintendo Power Magazine growing up, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to do something that I liked doing, and that was going to make me money. So that was my goal. That's always been my goal. But I also found an interest in hardware related things and computers and electronics. So I wanted to get a certificate. Originally, I just wanted to get an A+ CompTIA certificate. And the big problem with that was we didn't have anything in the area where I grew up at, which was Watseka, Illinois. So we didn't have any colleges around the area within driving distances where I could get this CompTIA A+ certification. There's also an Illinois state law that prohibits colleges from owning on-campus housing. Now, I would actually have to look back at that law, but I'm pretty sure it's just for two-year colleges, or maybe it's public colleges. I think it's public colleges. So that includes universities that are also public. And the problem with two-year colleges owning or having on-campus housing through a third-party company, it's a lot more difficult for them than it is a public university to do it through a third party because they're a lot smaller and it's harder for them to accumulate more funds like a university. So, and I wanted to attend a two-year college because it was cheaper. So I didn't want to go to a university. I also wanted to be on campus somewhere. So that was the primary issue. We couldn't find a college that had my sport, which is baseball, that also had on-campus housing. That was a two-year college that offered my curriculum. It didn't exist anywhere. I also wanted to kind of get the first couple of years of my video game design and development curriculum out of the way at the same time and same place as the A+ certificate. We just couldn't get any of that. So, long story short, I didn't go to college when I became an adult. My parents also weren't very supportive of me getting my driver's license. So I never got my hours. I had to wait till I was 18 to get my driver's license. And growing up in a small community, it was very difficult to get a job, a good job. And most of the jobs are minimum wage back then, $7.25 an hour. So I wound up going unemployed for a while. I couldn't get employment because I didn't go to college. It was hard getting a job anywhere. And I wound up going homeless for a while. While I was homeless, I actually started attending college at Joliet Junior College. I kind of just skipped over the A+ certification. They added a curriculum at Joliet Junior College that wasn't there about 10 years before. So I was actually going to originally go to Joliet Junior College back in like 2011, and it never happened because the degree that my dad wanted me to go for was a transfer degree for computer engineering technology with a major in hardware, and that's not what I wanted to do. I didn't want to waste all my FAFSA on an entire degree when I on something I didn't want to do. I wanted a certificate in computer repairs, and then I wanted to get a degree in video game design or development, or at a two-year college and then transfer to Full Sail for majoring in development or design. So I didn't want to waste all my FAFSA on computer engineering technology when it should be used for what I wanted to do with my profession and my life, my future. So at the last minute, I chose not to do it. And at the time, they didn't have video game design and development and associates at Joliet Junior College. So I went homeless. I never went. And then in 2019, they actually had a video game design and development curriculum at Jirachi Junior College, so I did actually attend while I was homeless. And I lived out in the woods. I pitched tents. Sheriff never bothered me, nothing. I lived out there. I had rechargeable power packs. I could charge up for 6 hours a day at the park, and I would have electricity for the entire week in my tent. It was pretty cool, actually. And Jack actually came to live with me while I was living out in the woods as a student. And interestingly enough, I actually met 2 other homeless students at Jirachi Junior College, which was really interesting. One of them, he slept around in abandoned commercial buildings. I never had the balls to do any of that. And for a large portion, I think 6 or 8 months of my homelessness as a student, I attended 3 semesters. I think I got 6 months in Hotel Plaza, which was like, the rent was $291 a month. That included electricity and everything. And I also slept in the Forest Preserve in a tent for 6 months for my duration there. But I actually started making the most money from my online sales while homeless. And I had been doing this since 2007, but it never really picked up until I started going to college. And I was also working at Elite Staffing, so I did that for about 9 months, and that was the most money I'd earned in my life. Back then, minimum wage was still $7.25, $7.50, and I was making really good money. It was about $12 an hour, but that was really good back then. Especially growing up in a small community where you can only make $7.25 an hour, even with a degree. So I did that, and what wound up happening was we had an issue where they violated my First Amendment. And it was never resolved through the administrative process. I wound up leaving, and I went into trucking. Now, I started an Illinois-wide homeless charity where I was actually helping homeless people get back up on their feet. As someone who had struggled myself, and I was at that point voluntarily living in the woods, I told myself there was no point in spending $600 or $800 or $500 or even $400 a month to live in an apartment when I had a free place in the woods. I had the river, it was a swimming pool in the summertime for me and Jack, me and the dog. Cooking over the fire every night. I had tea, I had a water filtration system, I had everything you could possibly ask for. I was living like a king out there, and I really was. It was amazing. Jack could go off on his leash out there. I told the cops straight up, hey, I'm out here. It was actually a tent city at one point that was formed by the it was actually formed like over 100 years ago by Slovakian immigrants or something, and the local government offices actually use that as emergency backup in situations of mass homelessness in Illinois. They would actually place people there and allow them to be there. Problem was, you would have to illegally cross the railroad tracks to legally be there. And it was public non-recreational land as well, which was completely illegal in Illinois. And as a homeless person, there is a camp and then move law in Illinois, where you can set up camp anywhere, basically, and then you gotta move within like a week or something. But as public non-recreational land, where it's basically a wild land, and the laws for the camp and move don't actually apply to wildlife land. It applies more to recreational properties and like a forest preserve or something, of that sort of nature. So it's a very technical thing. Anyway, one of the guys I helped through my homeless program, he had lost his CDL because he didn't pay child support. He had issues with the lady who was keeping his kid from him, and he said he wasn't paying child support, so he lost his CDL. There's like a thing with all 48 states that are in on this agreement that will revoke or suspend your CDL in that instance. So I helped him out. He got back up on his feet, and in return, he helped me get into trucking. So I started driving a truck, and I made a lot of money doing that. And what I did was I was already doing online video game sales and stuff. So I actually invested a lot of my money in that. We opened up physical storefront in Gilman, Illinois for Game Master at the time. And what happened was all the money that I was investing in product for sales, I actually did Square payroll. Now, I didn't do payroll for myself. I did it for the people. I've had 3 employees. I did it for the people that worked for the business. But what I did was I didn't actually payroll myself, but I did do a 401k, and I also got matched by 2 trucking companies over the last 4 years. So it's interesting because I was able to transfer the matched funds to my 401k, and I was actually able to max out my 401k account. So I was actually able to retire in 3 years. So it's not as beneficial as what it would have been if I stayed with it. So what happened was my storefront wound up closing, and I got into an accident while I was trucking quite recently. I was an owner-op at the very end, and the leasing company that I was buying the truck from screwed me over. And now my Game Master business went down the drain. My trucking business that I started went down the drain. And here I am. I bought this property in Avon, Illinois, and we're getting a business location here on the property. I'm actually turning my garage. I'm allowed to have a walk-in business here, so I'm turning the garage into that. And I got this house I'm fixing up. I'm actually attending college again. So not only will I be leasing this house out by room to college students when I move on to Full Sail University after I'm finished here with the CompTIA A+ certification and everything else I'm doing, but it's also going to be the property for the retail business location. Within, say, a 30-minute drive, there's several locations around the area, Avon, or Canton, Macomb, and everywhere else. So it's a really good central business location to have a business, provided customers are willing to travel to location 15 minutes. So what I'm doing now is I'm actually going to be going back into trucking with a Penske rental in between spring and fall semesters. Now, I've gotten a little bit of experience with this, and I've also looked on the load board, so I can actually gross about $10,000 in between $9,000 and $12,000 a week. Now that's before gas expenses, that's before monthly freight insurance, cargo insurance, and all the other expenses. So I can actually come out with about $30,000 net a month in between spring and fall semester, and I'm going to be investing all of that money into new retail products and also opening up Game Master store locations across the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom. Now with that much investment, investing $30,000 a month, that's a lot of money that's going to rapidly accumulate and bring in more revenue at a very rapid rate, and I will be able to continuously reinvest the revenue at that accelerated growth rate. So realistically, I could have several Game Master locations across the United States, Canada, and England within literally a year or two. The biggest issue I found is the employees that I've had in the past didn't want to do the work. And hiring was a major hassle. I couldn't find people to work. No one wanted to work. I was offering twice minimum wage. Great benefits. It was contract employment too, so your pay and your raises were insured. No one wanted to do it. That's the biggest obstacle I faced. So that's a little bit about my personal life. I had a rough start. I didn't get to where I wanted to be right when I became an adult. I had lots of obstacles and sinkholes I fell into, and now at the age of 31, I'm just now recuperating from 2 business failures, my trucking company and Game Master, store closure and everything, and my store manager quitting, and I'm just now going to college to do what I want to do. I never wanted to drive a truck, but the good thing about this is I did figure out that I could be an owner-op between spring and fall semesters and still get my college education for what I actually want to do with my life. And it's funny that I'm retired now, and I'm also a student, so I can actually, I can get my full FAFSA funding, run my trucking company under the business over summer between spring and fall semesters, and I can get my retirement money as well. And that's kind of what I'm doing. Plus, I can also, if I make enough from the Game Master business to cancel out the investment cost, the initial investment cost, I can probably credit myself a little bit of income from that as well as employee payrolls. So that's kind of where I'm at, guys. That's my past. That's where I'm at now. And with that being said, I've got nothing to do this summer. So I just did spring semester at Spoon River College. And I did last fall semester at Iowa Lakes Community College, and then I transferred to Spoon River College for spring, and then I found out the property that I purchased in Avon is out of district, which means I'm going to be getting higher tuition rates at Spoon River College unless I transfer to Carl Sandburg College, which I did that and am registered for fall. But for this summer, I cut it a little late to get a new DOT and MC number to run my truckloads this summer. So with all the investment, I just bought this house. Before I bought the house, I just bought a vehicle. It's my first vehicle I've actually owned, fully owned since 2009. I had a 1997 Chevy Astro van back then, and I had a 2001 Grand Jeep Cherokee back in 2018, but I was making payments on it. It was a piece of crap, kept breaking down, so I gave it back. So I just bought a vehicle. I just bought this property. The property was beat up. It's all smashed and gutted, and I've invested almost $4,000 in the last 3 months into it. So I put out a lot of money, so I'm not really, I didn't really have the money to spend $600 on DOT and MC number plus cargo insurance, which can run me $300 to $500, and then another $2,000 to $3,000 to make sure that I'm reserved for the Penske rental and trailer. So we're actually going to do that for next summer and get that going then, which means I am completely free all summer to continuously upload videos on this YouTube channel. Now, the long-term hopes and focus of this channel, I don't really expect too many people to donate on my Ko-Fi page that's in the About section on the page, but what I want to do is I want to increase this channel and grow it. I want people to start seeing the products that I'm going to have in the eBay and Etsy store. I want people to be drawn to the Facebook page. So I want to, at some point, also monetize this channel as well. So those are kind of the goals on this YouTube channel. Pay me for watching my video game uploads, and Now, right now, what I'm kind of doing and focusing on with the content is I am more or less just playing some games that I missed out at as a kid. But in the long run, I will be doing tutorials and guides. I've got several ideas for unboxings, and I really want to get into the technical videos that I've seen on YouTube. I love all the modded devices and all that. I want to get upload some video game creations. I've got this grand mass idea for this video game that I want to create. So I want to be putting up video game development and design videos on here, technical computer and electronic modded inventions that I'm working on. I want to do tutorials and guides and all different kinds of stuff like that on this channel. So that's kind of the long-term goal for that. So yeah, it is what it is. I'm 31 years old. I'm a retro gamer, and I'm a geek. You can probably tell that. So that's the focus of this channel, and I want to also use the channel for the business videos. So like the success and the growth rate, and you can see earlier on the channel, like when I had the Gilman storefront open, where I made a couple videos inside the store. I want to get back to doing that. I want to learn a little bit more about video making and how to make my videos better. You can see not a whole lot of them are too great. I've got this crappy background on the back, and I'll be seeing about doing a green screen for this video and maybe changing the background a little bit to see what I can do about that. Yeah, so this is kind of my life now. I'm a student for spring and fall semesters, probably continuously for the next several years, and over summer. Starting next summer, I'll be going back as an owner-op truck driver, just for summer in between spring and fall. And now, when I start doing that next summer, I won't be able to really upload anything onto YouTube. I'll be probably mailing products out when I'm not driving and hauling freight. But over spring and fall semesters, we'll see uploads onto this channel, probably not as much as what I'm doing this summer. So I just chill. I'm going to be doing this all day, every day this summer. And I drink Mountain Dew. I smoke pipe tobacco. And I sit here on my futon bed that I plopped in this vacant, gutted house. And I have all my controllers. Well, actually, I don't. I lost a lot of stuff when my store manager quit at the Gilman Game Master location. It's kind of a touchy story, but I had a lot of stuff, personal stuff, not just business inventory I was selling. And when she quit, we closed the storefront down. We moved everything into their basement because she was in a relationship with a good friend of mine who was selling me his house. And next thing you know, after we moved everything into the basement, they kicked me out with no notice. So I lost all different kinds of controllers and adapters and stuff that were collectibles and just priceless things. But I've got an original Atari 2600 device. Let me see if I can get this here. It's an original Atari 2600 joystick. You can see that. It's real. It's not a USB-ended device. I bought this off eBay. Good price. Everything works on it. So this is what I do all my Atari 2600 games with. And I actually have a USB adapter that converts the original Atari joystick into USB for my emulators. And it also works with Sega Master System controllers and Sega Genesis controllers. So it does recognize all those inputs. Now for the NES and Sega Master at this time, as well as the Amstrad GX 4000, I am just using this NES with a USB end. So it's fundamentally identical to the Sega Master System controller, as well as the Amstrad GX 4000 controller. It's also fundamentally identical to Game Boy and Game Boy Color. The A and B buttons are in the same place, start and select buttons. The only difference is the buttons aren't slanted like on the Game Boy and Game Boy Color and Game Boy Pocket. But this is what I use for my Game Boy Color, and NES. And instead of buying a Sega Master System controller as well as an Amstrad GX 4000 controller, I just use this because it's the exact same thing. Buttons are in the same place, it's the exact same layout, almost identical in size. It makes no difference with the Sega Master System. But for like everything else, you will see me using real, real original controllers with USB adapters or a USB modded device. I've also got this. I picked this up on eBay as well. This is an Atari 7800. Well, Harry from Jack's Hair. This is a joystick, original Atari 7800. I picked this up as well. It also works in my USB adapter. Now, in the past, I've also had USB N64 controllers, a USB SNES controller. Now, I will be getting a new USB SNES controller soon, and I will be using that for Game Boy Advance and also DS games emulation. So, the layout on there, they have the shoulder buttons on there. So I know it has 2 more buttons than the Game Boy Advance and SP and Game Boy Micro have, but they have the shoulder buttons, and I need those in there. So I mean, that's probably a closer fit than using the NES controller for Game Boy Advance games, and the DS layout on the Super Nintendo controller is identical. So that's a pretty good fit for those as well. Now the N64. This was a big thing that I had. Well, hold on. Before I get to that, let me just say that I will also be getting an original Sega Genesis 3-button controller, and I will be hooking it up to my USB adapter for Sega Genesis games. Now, the reason we're doing that is because I couldn't find a USB-ended 3-button Sega Genesis controller anywhere online. So I actually had to buy an original one and run it through my old USB adapter. So we'll be doing the same thing with that as well, because I'm sure nothing's changed. You can't get an original looking and feeling 3-button Sega Genesis controller with a USB end anywhere online. It didn't exist then, I don't think it exists now. Now for the N64, the big issue that I found with these is if you buy the USB ended one, you don't get a rumble feature. These Chinese replicas, there's no rumble feature in them. Same thing with the PlayStation as well as GameCube. You don't get the rumble feature if you buy the USB ended ones. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to actually be using original N64 controllers with the rumble pack inserted through a USB adapter. And same thing with the GameCube controllers. Original GameCube controllers with the USB adapter for the emulators. For the PlayStation, I'm probably not going to use an actual PlayStation controller. I'm probably just going to get a USB version PlayStation controller. Or I could do a PlayStation 3 and link it up. We'll do that. Just PlayStation 3, that way I get the rumble feature and the USB. It plugs directly USB in there. I'll get a wired version, and it would even be recognized by PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5 emulators as well. So we'll be able to do that. So that's what I'm doing here. And stay tuned for a quick follow-up video. I'm going to be starting a couple new series on this YouTube channel that I think are going to get a lot of views and be really, really liked and valued. The first one is actually going to be a redo. So I had an old YouTube channel specifically for gaming back in 2018 that ran to 2018 and then to 2019, where I kind of split two YouTube channels up, and I started one of them over. I basically started all new, but in two separate YouTube channels. So I have another YouTube channel that isn't about gaming. It's about politics and Christianity and Christian prophecy, non-Christian prophecy, and it's focusing more on political and sociological issues. And I'm also a former candidate for U.S. Congressman, Congressional District 16. And I don't really want to mix the video game and tech stuff with the political things in one channel, so that's why I have two separate channels. But on the old gaming YouTube channel, I had started something called Secrets of the Kart. That's K-A-R-T. Now what that was is it started with Mario Kart 64 as the Season 1. And then Season 2 was Mario Kart Double Dash. And then I had a prequel season that covered Mario Kart on the SNES, on the Super Nintendo. And then basically what it was is it was a YouTube series where I had season. Each playlist was a season. And then in each season, in each playlist, were the episodes, and I would go through the shortcuts and the secrets and tricks and tips of all the Mario Kart games, and I stopped doing that when I changed the YouTube and split into two channels and started the gaming channel over again. Now, I've been trucking over the last several years, so that's why this YouTube channel has gone vacant without uploads for a while, and now all of a sudden, I'm retired, and I'm not doing anything this summer except playing video games, and that's why you're seeing all these uploads, almost 10 uploads a day, every day. So we're going to be getting back to Secrets of the Kart series, and that's probably going to be in a couple months. We'll start doing that again. And there's another series that I'm going to be starting, besides the Mario Bros. And Super Mario Bros. And all that, and that is What Am I Doing Today? And that's going to be styled as a playlist on the channel. And basically, every day I'm going to come on here, and you're going to see my beautiful unshaven face, and my messed up hair, in one of my Mario or Nintendo shirts, and in my underwear, and I'm going to tell you what game I'm going to be doing today, or what games I'm going to be doing today, or what tech things I'm going to be doing today, or what I'm going to be doing today that's going to relate to the business functions and the YouTube channel. And I'm just going to come on here, make a short few-minute video every single day. I'm going to upload it. It's going to be in a playlist. What am I doing today? And you're going to get to see me on this channel. You're not just going to get to see game recordings. You're not just going to get to see other things that I'm doing. You're going to get to know me more on a personal basis, and hopefully me you, and you're going to get to know me on a personal level and intimately. And I think that's important for viewers and business relationship. So even running a physical storefront, I don't think there's really a whole lot of difference in a virtual business attraction. I think it's important to do that as the owner of that business. And again, I'm just now getting this business started up again. I'm just now getting my trucking business going again as well. So I was a multi-business owner, and I'm getting back to being a multi-business owner. So that's the bottom line, and hopefully with this more intimate connection with my viewers, and hopefully it will increase the attraction to the channel, and express the authenticity and the genuineness of it, and hopefully essentially monetize the channel, and then also draw people to my online eBay and Etsy stores to increase sales. Now, again, I just am starting to get this business going again after a bad business failure, a bad incident I just talked about. So I do have these in stock right now if you'd like to buy them off my eBay or Etsy channel or page, and they're fairly cheap. I'm selling them super cheap. So every stock item I get in, I was originally doing a $200 profit margin, and I've just changed that to at 20%. So I cut a zero off of that for you guys. I'm no longer doubling prices on retail goods. I'm doing a 20% hike. So say if I get 100 of these in for $100, you're going to pay $1.20 per controller, plus the platform selling fees to reimburse me so I don't lose a penny out of that, plus the shipping rate. So whatever it costs me to have it shipped to me, that there's also 20% onto that. So basically I'm making 20% out of what I invest in shipping and bulk product purchase per unit, plus a cancellation of the selling fees, whichever platform it's being sold on, Facebook Marketplace, eBay, Etsy. I don't do Amazon, and the reason I don't do Amazon is because they were a scam at one point, a big scam where before you could sell directly to customers, you would actually have to send everything to their warehouses, and what would happen is people would send all their stuff in a big box and list it all on their page, and they would send hundreds and hundreds of dollars to an Amazon warehouse, and it would be listed on their page for sale, and if it went unsold and you requested your products back, they wouldn't send it back to you. They would keep them at their warehouse until your product sold, and if your product didn't sell, you didn't make any money. So basically they stole from a lot of people, and that's part of what saved them from bankruptcy during that time that they were failing, and that's why they're so big today, is because they scam millions and millions of people out of their products and money. So I boycott Amazon as much as I possibly can. So that's why we don't sell on Amazon. So I'm going to cut that video, and we're going to speed this video up ×2, and we're going to leave it on here, and I'm going to get right to making that What Am I Doing Today video for the first season of that, the first series. Thank you. You guys have a great day. Good afternoon, guys. I just want to make a quick update here on this YouTube channel, and also off the YouTube channel for online sales. So I am removing the Etsy store from the link on this YouTube channel. I am also no longer selling on Etsy. It's something that I was kind of experimenting with over the past few months. I've never used Etsy before, but when I was originally calculating my sale prices for the Etsy platform, it looks like they weren't completely transparent in all the fees that they would charge the seller for. So originally it was showing like 6.5% plus 25 cents, and then 3% for transaction fee, but I was under the impression that the buyer would pay 3% transaction plus 25 cents, but it looks like they're actually charging sellers 6.5% selling fee plus 3% plus 25% per card transaction to the sellers. Plus, I had an issue last week where I send all my packages out by first class package, which is weight and distance, the cheapest you can send stuff out as, unless it's medium mail. And what happened was the calculation was off $1.25 compared to what the post office was charging me. So I lost money on the platform, basically. And doing the math here, my total selling fees on eBay come out to be 13.25% plus 30 cents. Compared to Etsy, which is 24.5% plus 25 cents. So that's a big thing that they should have been transparent about and been pretty clear on, and they weren't. So I was actually underlisting my prices, and I wasn't making what I should have for the item sales. I made, I think 84 cents net after the entire transaction on the first one, and then that's way under what it should have been. So my product price for the item that was sold would have actually been $4.02 after the Etsy selling platform fees. So they charged me 24.5% plus 25 cents for the item sold, and I hiked the price up through with their platforming fees from $4.02 for the item, and I got 81 cents out of the deal compared to $4.02. So that big difference in the money I got back compared to what I should have gotten back, it wasn't even enough to pay for the original unit that I got in for bulk. So that's a big problem. So, oh, I'm sorry. I should have gotten $4.83 back. The base unit of the investment cost for the unit was $4.02. So I should have actually made 80 cents net after the investment of the item and all the platforming fees, and I didn't. So I actually lost out on like $4 for the sale, and then a couple other items sold as well through Etsy, which I'm sure I'm basically losing money. I'm not even making the money up to pay for the original unit. So not only was I not making profit from the Etsy sales, but I'm also losing money basically buying these units for free and handing them out for free. So they should have been transparent. So that's just to break down the Etsy selling fees that they weren't transparent about, such as the 3% and 25 cents for card transactions. When buyers pay for the item, they're actually charging the seller for that fee, and they shouldn't be. They're also charging 15% if your item is sold through an online ad, even if you list your product for, I think there's a listing where you can make it to where don't do online ads or something. Well, for some reason my product went as an online ad, and they charged an additional 15%. So 24.5% plus 25 cents is way too high. That means I'm going to hike the prices up to cancel out their selling platform fees compared to what it would on eBay, which would be 13.25% plus 30 cents. Plus eBay doesn't charge, I'm pretty sure they don't hike up 13.25% of the shipping, provided I have the buyer pay for the shipping. Etsy, on the other hand, did, and I lost money. So not only did I not make profit, but I didn't make up the money that I invested into the product to actually have it in my possession to sell. So that being said, we're not doing Etsy anymore. We're taking it off the YouTube channel. It's no longer going to be an option for people. People will have to buy through Facebook Marketplace and the eBay page. And what I'm going to do is, since I can't link my Facebook Marketplace profile to my business page on Facebook, I'm going to have to link my personal accounts, my personal Facebook accounts Marketplace link up here on the YouTube channel, and also just let everyone know on the Facebook page and people who I deal with business in person as a business. That Etsy is out of the picture. So we're going to speed this video up, we're going to put it up there on the channel, and then we're going to share it on the Facebook page. That way everyone's aware that we're not doing Etsy anymore. We'll have to go through eBay or Facebook Marketplace if you're not buying in person. If you're buying in person, I can do card. I can send you a link. You can pay just about any possible way you can think of. I take Cash App, PayPal, debit, credit card, including prepaid cards, and money orders. I don't accept checks or any other form of payment. So cards, and I can take your card over the phone. I can take it through a secured Square link. I can take it in person. However you want to pay by card or Cash App or PayPal, I can accept all those methods if you're buying in person, or if you're like buying through Facebook Marketplace. If they don't have the shipping and pay option for you there, I can take it like that. I've done a couple orders like that already through Facebook Marketplace. If you want just something automated, you'll have to hit the YouTube channel. So, all right, guys, that's it. I will be on here today with the what am I doing this week video content on the games I'm playing. Thank you.
Hello, Sky Loans here. I have good news. So I have decided to create and manufacture a self-sufficient home-based electric system. Since Ameren and most other electric companies have raised their prices, in fact, I've seen a 50% increase since the beginning of 2023. And according to online sources, the energy costs have actually more than doubled since a couple years ago. So it's a very basic concept to get electricity from electricity. And we've seen people do this before, or at least try to, and they wound up being assassinated. We also see water-fueled vehicles, hydroelectric vehicles that were about to be manufactured decades ago, and of course the individual was assassinated. But I think it's time to do this. And right now what I'm doing is I am attending college. I'm going for several certificates in computer technician repairs, electronic repairs, industrial maintenance, and several other courses and certificates that intertwine with that. I am being fully equipped educationally to do this project, this invention that I want to do. And this just hit me today. Like, why not do this? I've had invention ideas in the past of other things. I'm not going to reveal any of that. In this video, I want to keep this short and simple. But when I was homeless in the woods, I got a $200 generator, and the efficiency with the gas was amazing. I could get 12 hours of electricity with, I think, a gallon of gas, and that was pretty good. I had electricity out there, and I very recently had an incident as a truck driver where I had to get out of the truck. My truck broke down. Me and the dog were broke down in the truck for several months over winter time, and we had to get a propane heater, a Mr. Heater propane heater, and I had to go buy this van for a couple $1,000s, and me and the dog hopped in the back of this gutted van, and we lived there until we got this place here, this house. So one of the things that I did in the van was I took what I learned as a truck driver, and we had power in the van. So basically, the same kind of process you would use in a truck with an inverter and batteries and the alternator, you have electricity in the truck, and you don't have to pay for electricity as a truck driver. And I did the same thing in the van. It worked. So it came to me today, why not? Why is my electric bill $297 for February, March, April, and May, and for some reason, almost $200 for this bill here in June? Why am I having a $300 electric bill every single month? And the only thing I did was run a electric heater, but I did that only for a couple months. So why am I going 4 or 5 months of $300 electric bill? Well, it turns out they cut me off. So once the price gets to a certain amount, they will roll over the excess amount to the following month on my electric bill. So for only running a heater for a couple of months, I have a $300 electric bill for almost 5 months now. So it hit me. I am freaking hot in my house. I've got a fan going. I want to get an air conditioner, but I looked on Amarin. I ran my air conditioner for 2 or 3 days. I looked on Amarin, and it was actually 50% higher of energy use compared to my heater, which means that I would have had a 50% higher electric bill or a longer period of a maxed out $300 electric bill. So why not create something? If I'm getting all this education for electronics and electrical work and industrial work and computers and all this stuff, I am getting all the knowledge and education I need to do this invention, to create electricity from electricity. And it's so simple of a concept that it's amazing. It's not mainstream. It's not marketed. You know, people are turning to solar panels and wind turbines and very rarely water wheels now. But you know, no one can afford a windmill. People can't afford that stuff. People can't afford their electric bills anymore. People can't even buy real meat, vegetables, or fruit in the grocery store anymore. And with the minimum wage increases, people's college educations mean nothing when it comes to income anymore because everyone's getting paid the same now. We can't buy meat, vegetables, and fruit in the grocery store. And with this energy, these electric bills now, it's crazy. People are living in poverty. People can't even have children and raise children anymore because of it. Now, I'm not going to get into conspiracy theories on this, but what I'm saying is I think it's time to develop, create, manufacture, and distribute a system that is self-sufficient for home-based electricity. Something small and compact that generates enough electricity to sustain a normal family household of electricity, 24/7. And I've created the idea in my head of how to do this. It's very simple to create a generator, ran on another generator, and have the excess electricity after recycling to energize the original generator into batteries. So we can do this fairly easily and fairly cheap as well. I just saw one video on YouTube where this guy took a washer or a dryer motor and he created self-sufficient electricity of 10,000 watts just from that alone. I can do 20 times more of that at about the same size per unit. And we can actually create a system in a ventilated box, maybe about 6 times larger than my head, for silent, self-sufficient, home-based energy on a continuous basis. And it would actually have 4 motors in it. And 2 of the motors would run themselves, would energize themselves, and put the excess energy either directly into the household or into a battery storage system. And while one cools off, and then it would alternate, and one set of motors would cool down while the other one did that. And it can all be set by an electric timer, a sensor timer, and everything. I could do this. I can manufacture 1 unit for $600 from scrap parts. And I think I'm going to do this. And next year I'm going to be applying for patents and see what I can do about mass distribution and manufacturing, and see what we can do about that. So I think this is revolutionary. I think that it's people don't want to see self-sufficient things like this because it's going to be bad for the market and it's going to collapse the economy. But I think the economy needs to be collapsed because it's shit. And it's shit because people are poor. You can raise their minimum wage all you want. They're still going to be poor. The prices in the economy are still going to raise. People are still not going to be able to afford real meat, vegetables, fruit, or even real fruit juice from the grocery store for themselves, let alone for a wife and kids. Everyone lives in poverty now. It doesn't matter if you're a truck driver or a doctor and you're making the highest salaries you possibly can in the United States. Everyone's poor and everyone's struggling at some point or another. And I know this because I was a truck driver and I made a salary better than what a doctor did on average. And I struggled as a truck driver. I was able to get more of that sort of stuff because of my higher salary. But then again, I also had on-road expenses that cost more. So this is what I'm doing. I'm going to be using my garage for both business purposes on computer repairs, as well as this new invention of creating this self-sufficient home-based energy system. And it's going to be, I'm going to be testing it, putting it together. I'm going to be seeing about how compact I can make it. And this is something I'm really, truly doing. It's not a joke. It's not a gig. It's something that's really going to be on the market in about a year or two, to where everyone in the United States can buy a unit from me or my company. So it's going to be fantastic, and I'm going to make sure that the price only has a 10% hike from what I invest in the initial materials. So if I invest if I invest $900 into materials and manufacture this, it's going to be sold for $1,000. So I won't even be charging for my time to manufacture the initial line of units, because at some point, what's going to happen is I'm going to get a contractor or a couple contractors involved to manufacture them on my behalf, and then I would still get a 10% markup. So it's going to be it's going to be something that every person in the United States can afford. If you go out and you buy an air conditioner, you're going to spend $400 or $500. If you buy a stove or any other unit in your home, you're spending almost $1,000 to $2,000. I'm going to make sure that this unit is not going to be anything more than what any other household appliance would be. So you will be able to buy this unit and have free electricity for the rest of your life at a one-time fee that is completely affordable. And I'm going to leave a link here in the description. I made this post on my personal Facebook profile, and you can see where I attach someone else's YouTube video of this dryer engine. And it's simple. I mean, it's basic, it's simple, and it needs to be available to everyone. And that's what I'm going to be doing. Good morning, guys. It's Kyle Owens here. This is October 19th, 2023. This is just an update, kind of from my personal life, but also more or less for my college pursuits. So my dream has been to attend Full Sail University since I was 9 years old. I wanted to create video games, create my own video games. And then basically I wanted to do that in the free time of running my own video game store. So those of you who've been following me along for a while now, especially those who know me in real life, know that I did attempt that. I opened up a storefront in Gilman, Illinois. I didn't have the time to manage it myself because I was driving a truck in order to have the money to do that. So this is the issue I'm having with opening up my own store and making it self-sufficient, and having it be something better than GameStop. Is I either have the money to do it, but not the time to manage it, or I have the time to manage it and not the money to do it. So this is the issue I'm having. Unfortunately, I'm not really able to do local employment and also have the time and the money to run my own business. Unfortunately, it doesn't work out that way. So I have figured out this plan that is going to allow me to do this, and I didn't develop this plan until after figuring it out with my college goals. So yesterday was my birthday. I turned 32. I'm extremely behind with getting to college for what I wanted to do, which is create video games in my free time, apart from running my own video game store and repairing computers in the shop also. So when I was growing up in high school, my dad kind of pushed college off onto me, but I had already wanted to go to college since I was 9. So I already knew I wanted to go to college, and I wanted to make my parents proud of me, and I wanted to have a high-ranking degree like everyone else in my family. So Full Sail University was mentioned to my dad, and he basically shrugged it off right away. So it wasn't even an option in his mind. And if I recall correctly, that was it wasn't because of the high tuition, but it was because of the living expenses in the area. So, I mean, the cheapest apartment you can get is about $1,500 a month. And if you get a roommate, you might get to only pay half of that. But then it's also unfurnished, and you're going to have to pay $200 to $300 for rental furnishing on top of that. So, I mean, that's something that my parents didn't want to help me with, was that living situation, the finances for that. So, there were no colleges in the area that I could drive to and attend. That was another issue. So I looked at 2-year colleges that had my sport of choice, which is baseball, and also on-campus housing. And at the time, back then, there weren't any 2-year colleges that offered an associate's degree in video game design or video game development. Now, over just the past few years, more and more colleges, 2-year colleges have added these degrees and have also developed housing, on-campus housing. For example, Spoon River College, which is where I was just going, they did develop on-campus housing, and they do have the computer courses I'm looking for, but not the video game stuff. So Joliet Junior College is another one. They added in a couple courses that you're able to do the CompTIA A+ certification from those courses, and they also added an associate's in video game design and development. I've been down that route at Joliet Junior College. It didn't go well, so that was back in 2019. And then we also have a couple other colleges, Iowa Lakes Community College, which I found out about last year when I was broke down in my semi-truck in Esserville, Iowa. So we have that option. And then Mercer County Community College in West Windsor Township, New Jersey. So these are pretty much the only colleges in the 2-year colleges in the whole country that offer the curriculum that I'm looking for. They just so happen to also offer the college sport and some sort of on-campus housing option as well. So, I mean, this has been my uphill battle and struggle my whole life, is finding a college that offers my degrees but also offers my sport, baseball, and some kind of housing option. And until recently, over the last few years, there wasn't anything like that. And so had my mind stuck on Full Sail University, with tuition rates that are obscene, that I couldn't even begin to pay for. I mean, technically, my FAFSA and everything might cover my full tuition, for the first few years. But after that, I'm going to have to pay out of pocket for my tuition on top of $2,000 a month for rent, or $1,500 for rent. So this has been my struggle, my battle. So unfortunately, I can't go to a traditional university like everyone else. I'm not going for something in business. I'm not going for something general like human resources, or anything like that. I'm going for a very specific and technical education. And it's true, I could go for something else like computer science or programming or something like that. But I decided long ago that I didn't want to get something generalized like that and then focus it on video game design and development, because I wanted the actual terminology of video game in whatever degree I was going to get. So it showed people what I stood for, and expressed the kind of character and personality that I have as a person. So that's why I wanted a specialized degree in this, and not something generalized and then focusing it on video games. So this has been my struggle, and I'm 32 now as of yesterday, and I'm now on my way, for the first time in my life, on my educational pursuit. I am extremely depressed. I am very frustrated. I have a very short fuse at this point. So um, I'm very upset that I'm this delayed in life. I'm going to be honest, but I think that it's finally here. I think it's finally coming. I think that I have some doors open now. I got stuck doing truck driving for a while. Some of you know that, some of you don't. So when things went south at Joliet Junior College back in 2019, I went out into the woods. I decided I wasn't going to rent anymore. And I actually did that to have the money to hire a lawyer to sue Joliet Junior College for violating my constitutional rights. So during the time I stayed in the woods, for about that 1 year I stayed in the woods, Jack came to me. And when Jack came to me, I decided that we were going to do something productive. So I started a homeless charity, and one of the guys that I helped through the charity came in, and he was a truck driver that had a CDL revoked, and he educated me on how to get into trucking. So I listened to him, and I got into trucking. I did that for a couple of years, and during the couple of years, I also had the storefront and Game Master for Gilman open all year in 2021. So yeah, 2021, and then last year is when I decided to end my trucking career and be a general entrepreneur with some other business pursuits of mine, as well as securities. And we got this little property in Avon, Illinois. I was renovating it to lease it out to help cover expenses to cover me through Full Sail University. But in addition to the property and leasing it out, my plan was to also drive a truck over a summer semester, like a Penske rental. And that's an idea I got when I was driving the truck. I was trying to transition from a company driver or an independent contractor over to an owner op, through a lease purchase contract. I went down that route. I wound up getting screwed. So I decided I wasn't going to do a lease purchase ever again. And that if I was going to do this, that I was going to do so with a rental. And I did some research on several of these trucking companies, on how most of these trucking companies started with a single driver in a rental truck. So, I mean, that's the way to go if you want to make money, is getting a rental and running yourself. And within 5 years, most of these companies went from a single driver in a rental to giant corporations all throughout the country with terminals in every state. So based off of my studies of these trucking companies and how they grew from a single driver in a rental to something large, that was something that I could build this goal off of, knowing that I would make financial profit from it. So, I mean, doing this, it's going to bring me anywhere from 9,000 to 12,000 gross a week. Now, net pay, it's going to be between 5,000 and 9,000. So, this is something that I can do from the end of spring semester to the beginning of fall semester every year, and it's not going to interfere with my college education and pursuits. I was actually supposed to do this last summer, and I had some things come up with the property and my college and everything. So it didn't happen last semester, summer semester, but it is planned to happen next semester. So that being said, I have figured out how I'm going to cover my tuition and housing in Orlando or Winter Park, Florida for Full Sail University. Is we're going to drive a truck 3 months out of the year as an owner op in a Penske rental. That's going to be 9,000 to 12,000 gross a week for those 3 months, and that's going to bring me a minimum of 6,000 net a week. So that is my plan to cover my expenses, and also we'll be finishing the house and renovating that and leasing it out during my time at Full Sail also. So I'll have the property rental, and that's going to be, I was trying to lease out to students by room, but it's probably not going to work out that way. So it's probably going to be about $600 a month rent from there, which is going to be about 1/3 of my rent in Winter Park, Florida, which another 1/3 to 2/3 is actually covered from another source of income I have right now. So I mean, the rental alone would work, but I'll also need to drive a truck to over summer to cover tuition differences and any possible rent differences. So the house I had in Avon, we just moved out of it last week. I'm in Lawrence, Iowa right now. So the reason we moved out of the house instead of fixing it up is because I had the gas worker and the water worker come over to the house. I was told by the water worker I have a leak and I'm probably gonna have to dig the whole yard up and hire a plumber and dig the yard up and fix the plumbing and everything. So the issue with that is I would have to have the heat on to make sure that the new fixes didn't go down the drain because the heat wasn't on and the pipes just were going to bust in the cold because the no heat. So I had the gas worker come over to light the furnace, and I was told by the gas worker that the heating coil or the heating iron is not safe. It needs to be replaced. And I was also told that the wires were rotted off of the furnace. So that being said, the furnace is going to need extensive repairs or replaced entirely. The other issue is the furnace ducts under the house. Most of them are smashed and disconnected. Now that's less of an issue because I still could have gotten the heater on and heated the house. It just would have been a higher gas bill. So to have the furnace repaired or replaced, that's going to be at least $2,000, and hiring a plumber to dig the yard up and fix this pipe, it's going to be at least $500. So I'm looking at $2,000, probably $3,000 altogether for the heating and plumbing in the house. That's money I don't have. So that's an issue. Well, actually, I do actually have the money to do that. But the problem is the city of Avon was basically taking me to court because I wasn't hooked to their sewage and water system. I'm not legally required to be either. So I was actually, I got a lawyer involved and I was paying the lawyer fees. And paying the lawyer fees is what took me away from having the money to fix the heating and plumbing in the house. So that's the issue that I encountered, is having the lawyer fight the case in court was going to prevent me from getting the house plumbing and heating fixed up for winter. So that's the issue. So that's why we moved out. That's why we transferred from Spoon River College to the plans was for Iowa Lakes Community College, which is where I was at last year. However, some things have changed with that. And it changed after I moved here to Lawrence, Iowa, which is the same distance away from campus as what my house in Avon is from the Canton campus of Spoon River College. So we were only planned to be here from last week to January, and then we were going to be on campus at Iowa Lakes Community College for their associate's degree in video game design and development. However, some issues arose with that, and we are actually not going to Spoon River College. So instead, I'm actually now going to Mercer County Community College, which is in West Windsor, New Jersey. So we just moved out of Illinois last week, and now in a couple of months, we're going to be moving to West Windsor Township, New Jersey for Mercer County Community College. And I think this is a better option too, because I did some calculations between the campus housing of both colleges and the tuition. So I would actually be getting a cheaper rate at West Windsor College, at least a few $1,000s difference. And the college also has my computer courses for my CompTIA A+ certification, in addition to the Associates in Video Game Design. Plus, they have an Associates in Video Game Programming, which is basically cutting 2 years off of my bachelor's for video game development. So altogether, it has everything that I'm looking to do. It has my computer courses. It has, the first couple of years of both the design degree and the development degree. It also has graphic design and 3D modeling. So it also has baseball, if they'll let me try out for that. Another thing is they also have a deal with Rider University for students who go to MCCC, and they're allowed to stay in the dorms of Rider University if they're attending Mercer County Community College. So I will be able to get an on-campus college experience in that way as well. For being a student with Mercer County Community College. And it's only a few miles away, and they have shuttles that run from the dorms to Mercer County Community College. So that is what we're going to be doing here. It kind of sucks, I got this little tiny apartment. It's really nice. It really is. It's got a bathtub in here. I haven't taken a bath in a bathtub in over a year, and it felt really nice coming in here. So got a refrigerator, got a stove. This is a big change to my living situation over the last several years. It's fairly cheap too. I only paid $500 deposit and $500 a month for rent. Unfortunately, I'm not going to get my deposit back because we're moving out January. So October, November, December, yeah, so it's only 2.5 months we're being here, so it kind of sucks. I lose the deposit and I lose this nice carpeted apartment, but it is what it is. We only moved here to this location for my college pursuit, so that's my primary goal here, is to pursue my education. And so um, I don't know when in January. It's either going to be early or mid-January is when we're going to be moving to West Windsor, New Jersey. But I should be there for, let's see, 1, 2, 3 years, 4 years. I should be there in Rider University campus housing at Mercer County Community College for 4 years, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to have to be full-time. The Associates in Video Game Design is going to be 2 years, and then 50%, about half of the degree for the video game programming, is already in the Associates for Video Game Design, so that's going to add 3 years there. And then there's a year of unrelated coursework for my computer courses and graphic design, give or take a year. So we're going to be there 4 years full time, and then from there we are planned to transfer to Full Sail University. So from 2024 to 2028, and then in 2028 we'll be in Winter Park, Florida. So I'll be leasing my house out. We won't be opening up another Game Master store until I'm finished with all my college. So, and then from 2028, I should be at Full Sail University for 5 or 6 years, because I'm going for a master's in video game design and then a bachelor's in video game development. But 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so 6 years. And because of the courses that are intertwining from each degree, reduces some of that somewhat. And then the 4 years of college would be also knocked off of my degree due to the transfer credits. So that should be about 5 years at Full Sail University. And this is actually at full time. Full Sail University is an accelerated college. So, I mean, if I really wanted to get it done, we could get it done in 3 years. But I don't want to do their accelerated way. So if we just do half of their accelerated rate, it's going to come out to be 12 credit hours a semester. So that's what we'll be doing. And I've had this video running for a while now. I'm just kind of thinking about everything, all the plans and everything. So I'm going to go ahead and cut this video. It's about a 6-hour drive from Avon to Lawrence, Iowa. So it's kind of hard to believe. I almost feel like a truck driver again, except I'm not driving a truck around the country. I'm moving around the country. Feels a little weird, but it's also nice in a way. A little bummed out about Iowa Lakes Community College, but it is what it is. Mercer County Community College is probably a better college. It's just all the way across the country, and instead of a half hour from me. So if I would have known that was going to be my course of action before I left, I probably just would have went straight from Illinois to West Windsor, New Jersey, and got an apartment there, and then transferred on campus. So, but it is what it is. I guess the money doesn't really matter in the end, because money's there to be spent. So, but anyway, before I end this, I just wanted to show you guys this cool Mario spaghetti meatballs here. I picked this up at the grocery store. Thought it was pretty cool, and I'm going to eat it right now, and I wanted to just show it before I ate it, because I'd never seen this. So this is pretty cool. You don't see these. I haven't seen any of these in Illinois, so it's pretty cool. I'm guessing this is from the movie. It's just part, some promotion left over. I don't know. So that's pretty cool. Oh, there is my stuff in the oven. I got some barbecue pork going on in the oven, and it's 9 a.m. here in Lawrence, Iowa, so that's probably going to be done in a couple hours. I'm slow cooking it, so I'm going to let you guys go. I'm going to eat my Mario SpaghettiOs for breakfast and flip that the loaf of meat over in the oven. Have a good day, guys. Hey, what's up, guys? Skylone's here. So I want to make this particular short video just as an explanation that I have added a 4th mini-series onto this YouTube channel. It is called Fatal Attempts. And basically what this is it is a playlist on this YouTube channel of all of my failed attempts during gameplay across whatever games I'm playing. So it could be Super Mario Sunshine, it could be Elder Scrolls Online, whatever games I'm playing that I wind up dying in, mostly boss battles or whatever else. It's going to go in that playlist on this mini-series. So I say I have 4 mini-series on this channel because everything else on this channel that are like playlists and whatnot, I don't really consider those mini-series. Some people might consider them mini-series, especially some of the more complete playlists like the Wario Land Letter Treasure Guide that I did. That is complete, and it is completely finished and thorough. So, I mean, some people might consider that like a mini-series, but when I refer to a mini-series on this channel, is something that is a continuous process, and it's either going to continue or it's going to be an extremely long playlist on this channel. So, for example, my first playlist or mini series that I started on this playlist, or actually on my other channel, before I decided to break my channel into two channels and swap the content and divide them between political video games. So, my first one back in 2018 was actually Secrets of the Kart, which featured Mario Kart across all platforms and all the secrets of each level of each Mario game. Mario Kart game. So, for example, I actually started the series with Super Mario 64. I'm sorry, Mario Kart 64, and then I did a prequel mini series within that, um, featuring the Super Nintendo, and then I was moving on to GameCube before I did the Switch and break everything into two. So basically, I'm going to be re-adding that whole series from scratch onto this YouTube channel over the next year. You'll have to bear with me. I'm extremely busy with my college work and everything else I'm doing. So I am going to be trying to do this as quickly as possible, especially with now being a full-time content creator here on YouTube. And I have hundreds of videos on my laptop that I still have to upload onto YouTube. So I'm trying to get all those up there. And I'm working on being a better content creator also. So I'm kind of experimenting with green screen and whatnot and other video creating features at this time as well. So let's get back to the series here, because this particular video is actually going to be placed in each of the 4 mini series that I have here. So the first one is Secrets of the Kart, which is a Mario Kart tutorial of all the secrets of all the levels of all the Mario Kart games across all the platforms. The second one is What Am I Doing, which I started earlier this year. Now, you'll have to bear with me. I did unlist some of those videos because I had some work affecting the series there. So I'm going to be restarting that series. And basically, What Am I Doing series is I'll come on here probably once a week or once a month, and basically I'm going to explain a little bit about me and become more intimate with my audience through that mini series, and touch down on what games or what I'm doing tech wise that's going to come onto this channel within the next week or month or whatever duration. I originally started out with every week, but I think it's going to have to be a once a month video added to that playlist. And then last week, or 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago, I started Midnight Streams, is what it's called. So Midnight Streams, it's not all about Risk Global Domination. It just happened to start with Risk Global Domination. It's actually going to be, it's a mini series on here where I am going to live stream my gameplay experiences either at midnight or before midnight. That's going to run into midnight. So I have several games I'm going to be working on. Doing this with Risk Global Domination just so happens to be one of them. I'm also going to be working on Fortnite with the Midnight Streams mini-series here. And I did just purchase a wireless 4K HDMI transmitter and receiver where I can plug it into my Nintendo Switch, and then I can plug the other end into my computer, and through OSB software I can actually go sit in my living room and play my Fortnite, and it'll stream over here to my laptop and be live streamed onto YouTube or video captured and then uploaded later. So, and then this new one that I just started, a Fatal Attempts series, is what it's called, but in the actual YouTube channel, you'll see it listed as Fatal Attempts and Bloopers. Now, I've added the hashtag of Fatal Attempts, and I put the GM for Game Master before Fatal Attempts to brand my name tag, because it's going to go on all of the Fatal Attempts videos in that series, because I want that to be a unique branding, something that no one else is going to hashtag anywhere else. So now, this is something I've had for well over 10 years to do. It's always something I wanted to do on the side. And I think I originally got the idea when I was playing Super Mario Sunshine. So with the big octopus boss, I thought it would be a great idea to save all of my failed attempts and put them all into one video. But I never really had the space on my computer to do it, or the time to invest into doing it. And now I have everything I need to do that. And it's not going to hurt me to save all my failed attempts and to create them into a video and then to upload them to YouTube into a playlist. Now, games like Elder Scrolls Online that don't really ever end, we're not going to have like a compilation video of all my failed attempts of ESO into one. But games that do have an ending, like Super Mario Sunshine, for example, I'll take all my bloopers off of that, I'll put it into one video, and it'll be uploaded as one video in that playlist, that mini-series. So although I have several playlists on this channel, I only consider having 4 mini-series on this YouTube channel. And that's what this video is about, to explain that and what these 4 mini-series are. So thank you for watching, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to attach these 4 playlists to this video and also in the description here. And this video will also be in each of these 4 playlists, so everyone knows what it's about, what they're called, and what they contain. Thank you so much for watching.